Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live show for the Big Bad Booty Bitches Book Club. We're talking about two books today. We're doing a double header. So we're talking about Cloak and Dagger Burlesque by Lizzie Strong and The Wraith King by Juliet Cross. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of smut. And Allie's here with me to get into the weeds of all the romance things we've read. So what were your initial thoughts, ratings?
Okay, so I've been reading The Wraith King this past week, and then yesterday I started this. I DNF'd it. I couldn't. I'm sorry.
I get it.
I read 89 pages, and I was like, "It's not for me." I'm sorry. So which one should we get into first? Do you think?
Whatever you want to do. I've read all of Cloak and Dagger.
I read this a while ago, right?
Yeah, I read all that one. I was reading The Wraith King. I haven't read the end yet because there is the virginity and the gods. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was like, because I read Cloak and Dagger Burlesque first, and then reading this after, I was like, okay, this is a lot back to back, but good stuff. Good stuff. What did you think about The Wraith King?
The Wraith King, it took me a minute to get into it. So like, it took me about 90. I see someone back there, a little animal. Sorry, I'm gonna be so like looking out for your cats. But I think the first 90 pages, it got off to like action right away. They were already like trapped in this dungeon or whatever, and he's like fighting her with superpowers. And then it's like, what is it, 5 years they jump in the future? And I was like, what is happening? What is happening? And then I didn't really understand what the crux of the story was going to be, because I figured he would like kill his dad like in the middle of the book. I didn't think, like according to the synopsis, like that King whatever, Xavier, I can't remember any of their names. They had some weird names in this book.
They did, yes.
I can't pronounce any of them. And like a couple times I was like, come on, whatever the author's name is, you're really just trying us right now. But as soon as he said, I have a proposition, or like, this is what I want from you. I didn't realize it was a convenience or marriage of convenience story. As soon as I found it in, I think I literally stood up straight. I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, and I have joined the chat.
Exactly. But it took like 90 pages to get there. I mean, that book was long. It's like 500 pages or something. So I ended up thinking it was a little too long. I predicted the bad guy like pretty early on. And there was a lot of talk of breeding, which, you know, is a little much. But I gave it 3 stars. Maybe 3.25, because I do like the magic. I think their love story was cute. I do feel like it was kind of forced at some points. Like they hated each other, and then he just kept saying, but I love her. It's like, but why?
Yeah.
But like, when did that happen? And I get like they're horny for each other, whatever.
Right.
But she goes from like hating him, and then they have sex, and she's like, oh, I love him. And I was like, okay, well, you're that girl. That's okay. Is that Rigby?
Rigby, quit howling. He's giving me the stink eye right now. Hey, knock it off. He howls. I don't know. He's just sitting on the table howling. He just ate. He's got he's been fed like a prince all morning. He's just screaming just for fun.
He wants to be part of the live show. He probably read it behind your back. He's a little young for this, but
he probably did. I know. I was like, young eyes should not be reading what I'm reading right now.
He's like, reading.
Yeah, he's like, oh, the gods. Oh, tell me more.
Now, I do love a mythological story, so that really had my interest, and how they kept bringing it up, because I kind of had to like go back. You know, at the beginning of the book, they talk about like the lore.
Right. Yeah.
I really like that. I think that was fun. And then to actually have the gods like mentioned, I'm a sucker for mythology. What can I say? I do wish, for as long as this book was, the part where she had to like go in the lake with the priestesses, I wish that was so much longer. That was so cool. or like the anticipation of that. I wish it lasted longer because like she gets kidnapped and then the next day she has to do this shit, or at least it was like the next scene or something. And then immediately after has to go do that like sex thing, which I also kind of wish would last longer, or we had more anticipation for it. Because those are pretty, I love it in a book where like they tell you some shit is going to go down and you're like waiting for it to happen. I love that shit. But then it was like over. And then I was wondering what was going to happen the rest of the book. But the actual quest to find these like God touch things, at first I was like, okay, this is like filler bullshit. But I kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of fun because we got to see some different creatures like dryads or whatever those, I don't know half the shit was happening. I was like, I'm just in it for the ride.
Yeah, I get that. I liked the fantasy elements a lot in the Wraith. Like, love that he has a dragon. That's super dope.
I was not expecting that.
Way cool. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. It's so dope. I liked their political fantasy stuff with like the warring kingdoms and all that.
I'm not a fan of political fantasy. I'm like, just start having sex, please.
Yeah, but it was kind of rushed with like she finds out that she has to do these trials to become his like Mizpah or whatever. His like woman who's gonna have his kids and stuff. Yeah, right, exactly. And then boom, the trial it like happens and it's so fast. And then immediately after, she's like, oh, the gods like spoke to me in the vision when I was in the lake, and now I'm like down bad for him. It's like, girl, what she said she doesn't know him like right before she did the trials. She's like, I don't even know.
They haven't had one actual, well, maybe like one conversation.
Barely though.
That's not enough to be like, my soul is yours. It's like, okay, you don't know who you're giving your soul to here.
Yeah, no kidding. Joe Schmo over here. Here's my soul, silver platter. Hope that goes good. Like,
like 500 pages, and we didn't get that. Yeah. I mean, it was cute how much they loved each other. So like, I sort of just, what is it called, suspended your disbelief or whatever. I was like, okay, they love each other fine. So it was kind of, it did remind me a little bit of like Radiance by Grace Draven. Is that the one?
Yeah, same.
I like that one. That one's really cute. But that one is so much cuter because they're like friends to lovers, and you get a lot of time for them to like grow attached to each other. And this one, it was just like, boom, give me the D.
Yeah, no kidding. I liked how it opened with her in the dungeon when she's like she's taken by his crazy dad and whatever. And then they have that connection of like she already knows him because he saved her from the dungeon. That was really cool. But I felt like there should have been more when she saw him again for the first time, like after he killed his dad, because I would have been like, hi, how's it going? You're taller.
You mentioned that. Like,
yeah, it was like barely even a thing.
Although actually when he saw her, I think I wrote it in my little like Kindle notes or something. I was like, how many times are you going to mention that you only looked at her as a child? And it's like, okay, stop mentioning that she was a child. It's making me uncomfortable.
Also, I'm like, how old was he when he saved her from the dungeon? Because it doesn't actually say. She was like not that old. But I'm like, how old? What's the age gap here?
Yeah, I'd like to know. Yeah, same. But yeah, it was kind of like the beginning part kind of messed with people too. I wish they would have like, I feel like that connection was so cool if they had like followed up on it, like, oh, this is why I'm attracted to you because you like we have this connection, but they don't really mention it again, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, they don't. Especially, I think it would have been different if he saved her from the dungeon and they were like both adults.
Yeah.
But she was so young.
Both teenagers, you know.
Right? Yeah. But she was so young. It's kind of like you need to tie that back in somehow. And the part that really got me is like before she did the trial thing in the lake, when she's like talking to his dragon and she sees the scene in the dragon's mind of how he saved the dragon. It's like you're learning more about this man from a dragon who can't talk than you are from the man. And I'm like, this man needs to tell you about himself. He's like telling her all their like stories about their lore and their gods. And like, that's cool. Have your little like story time. That's fun. But like when you talk about yourself for 5 minutes, because this girl doesn't know you and you're like, how do I do
this? Yeah.
What?
See, I do like marriage of convenience because it's like, okay, we've made this agreement, but then it should like, they should slowly start to, I don't know.
Get to know each other and stuff. Yeah.
Even if they are, sexually attracted to each other and they start hooking up, it's like, you need that switch from physical to like emotional, which is why I like what's it called? Or friends with benefits to lovers, or enemies with benefits to lovers, because there is quite like a difference between just doing it and then doing it when you love someone in a book. Anyway, I don't know.
Allie's like, little opinion on the side. In the books, it's different. Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, I think you're totally right. There wasn't enough of them like getting to know each other beforehand, and I can tell like, okay, he's into her because he saved her, and he always thought she was like hot and interesting and whatever. But like, she doesn't know you at all.
And it's funny because he's like, the gods are smiling at this arrangement, and it's kind of cool that they're smiling on it because they're supposed to be like enemies or something, and they're like, this is ordained, blah 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 blah. But he's like, Vix is looking at me because I have the same feelings toward my Mizra that he did, and it's like, I feel like the gods would be laughing at you right now. You don't even know her.
I think the gods would be like, hey, you should slow down, brother. I think the gods would be like, could you buy her dinner first? I mean,
if I'm a god and I heard someone be like, I love them more than a god has loved their mate, I'd be like, excuse me, let me just electrify you because that's insulting.
Because you're stupid. Yeah. He did kind of think he was the shit, but he also was like kind of sweet to her sometimes and would put his cloak on her and trying to make sure she's like not cold and she's eating and like stuff like that. But it's also like, that's basic, like, please don't die on me, you know? Like, can you? Okay, so she's not starving to death. You're making sure she actually eats her food. Okay, Dad.
That's
like,
number one.
Yeah, let's maybe, you know, have a chat, have a heart to heart. Also, the other thing that really drove me nuts. So, I mean, good book. Love the fantasy stuff. It was fun, but the bringing up the gods all the time and being like, I don't really know you, but the gods are smiling on this, so I'm pushing for it, even if I don't know you and you don't want to marry me and have my baby. It's too bad.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing that really was like, what is happening? No, I can't even remember what I was going to say. The gods. There's another thing too.
God. Let's give you a couple minutes. We gotta.
What was the train of thought just went off the rail. I don't know where it went. There was some other thing too, not just the god thing.
Well, you think about it. Something that I thought was funny. What was her like handmaiden's name? Mwanda? I forget.
She had one min that
the shadow.
Oh, yeah.
I really like
her.
Hava, yeah. She reminded me of Alice Cullen, which love.
Oh yeah.
But it was so funny because like the second day of meeting her, I think it was just rushed relationships just overall. But the second day of knowing her, our main character is like, oh, she's like my best friend. And it's like, that's your servant. You're treating her like a servant. You're being like, okay, I'm done with you. You can leave now. And and I thought maybe she was going to end up being part of not the bad guys, but maybe being like, ma'am, we're not friends. I'm literally washing your feet for you. Like, it's not an equal relationship here.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, and to that point, like the power dynamics in here, I mean, all over. With like her friendship with that gal and her relationship with Gaul, it's like, girl, you have no power and you know you have no power, and it sucks. Also, all the other women cringing every time that he's like, I'm gonna force her to be my Mizpah, and they're like, that's
not right.
Weird. They're like, yeah, I'm sure she's super excited to be forced to have your kids and stay with you forever. That sounds fun.
I'm glad they added that because I feel like in most fantasy books they're like, yeah, as she should.
Yeah, that was interesting. I think, okay, the other thing that drove me nuts is all the times when she's like worried about him sleeping with other people when they haven't even been together yet.
Yeah. I mean, I get it that they've been like wed in her goddess temple, whatever. Right. So like to her, it's like deeply disrespectful, but she was like overly, it was supposed to be hinting that secretly she loved him, but like at that point, how?
Right. Yeah. It's like, okay, you still don't know him, but you don't want him hooking up with other people, but you don't even like him either. Yeah. And you're not, and you don't want to sleep with him either. So like, what
do you want? You can't have it all.
Yeah, she's like, don't have other concubines, but also I hate you, so
And don't touch me.
and don't touch me. I mean, that sounds like she's PMSing. I mean, like, same. That's how I am too. But,
I get it. I get it.
but again, like, you don't know this man.
Yeah. And then I feel like as soon as they brought those twins out, I could tell which one was going to be evil and that he was going to be evil because he didn't speak up. Like Mech was like, yeah, I'd love to do it. And then Farron or whatever his name is just didn't say anything. And he had like a weird look on his face. And then that like riddle, like one face is and one face is like, let's make this a little bit more obvious. I watch Pretty Little Liars. Excuse me.
Yeah. That's a good point.
When they had his POV, but it was like unnamed though, I did gag at that. I was like, "Ooh, this is fun." I wish they had more of that. It was like menacing, like that shadow in the corner. I was like, "Please give me more of this." I thought it was fun. And then poor Dahlia or whatever her name was, I felt bad.
Oh my god,
what a shame. Also felt really bad, but also loved that like tragic story of like Kefa, that singing guy. And then that lady who died and gave her last bit of magic and
yes, I love that too. I kind of liked all the stuff that was going on in the dungeons with like his friend getting captured and being down there and him saving him when he became king, and then how it opened with that lady she didn't even know doing the prophecy thing. But that was my thing too. Is like this lady, granted, the main gal was out of it when the lady was like writing the demon signs in blood on her forehead or whatever. But it's like, I guess, yeah, and she didn't speak the language at that time too. I guess so. She didn't know what she said, but it seems like once she learned the language, she might kind of remember.
Because she said, "I'll never forget what she said."
Yeah, and I'm like, it never clicked for you that she was like saying that you were going to be the one for the Dark Fae guy. That never clicked for you? That never did? Nothing in your head?
So, like, at what point did you stop?
I stopped like 60%.
Okay.
But you can talk about everything because I'm going to finish it like ASAP. So,
okay.
Spoil the end. Go into it. I want to know everything.
Well, I feel like the next book isn't going to follow them. I feel like it's going to follow the Shadow. Because there was something going on with that at the end. Did you meet him?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So he was like kind of a whiny prince-sounding dude, but he had some interesting questions. He was like, how did you escape your father in the dungeon? And so the goal is, or Gaul, or however the fuck you say his name, was like, that's interesting. Is he like somehow being kept by his father and he wants to like break free? And Gol tells him it was my Mizra. She happened to be there, and I didn't know at the time, but she gave me the power to like. And then eventually, when he found out that his father kidnapped her again, that gave him the power to actually like chop his head off. When he kept like holding it up, I was like,
"Yeah, I know.
That's quite an image."
When he was like started looking at her and like coming towards her, and she's like, he's just holding the severed head. I was like, bro, maybe not the right opening to meet your girl. You know what I mean? Put the head down first.
Yeah.
Have a little awareness. Ooh. Also, I don't know. I felt like that if that was me, I would have been like, well, I'm super glad you killed that guy. Also, you're hot. Also, nice to see you. It's been a minute, you know? Yeah, but she was just like super freaked out. I would have been like, okay, hell yeah, this guy saved me twice.
Yeah. I guess it was kind of creepy when he was like, okay, now go in this room and I'm going to lock the door. It's like, why don't you say something to me, please?
Yeah, that's true. Not a very communicative dude. Like, we could have used some more communication here, bud. Sure. You know?
Not just like lingering weird looks and feelings. But I was glad that they didn't end up fighting the brother, because I thought that was going to be the main conflict where like her brother would come and try to like fight. I was like, oh, I really don't, because she really likes her brother. I don't want like a brother boyfriend situation. So I kind of like how that worked out. Yeah. But I feel like the Shadow Prince is going to be a part of the next book, and I don't know who his love interest would be. Maybe like a new character. I don't know. That's my guess.
I wonder if it's going to be a thing because there's all these different kinds of like the fae, like the dark fae and the light fae and the whatever. If it's going to be like each couple is from a different
That'd be
like
cool.
group, so you can like learn all of the cultures of all the different ones. That'd be kind of cool.
Like that, like all the different types of people. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I like these kind of books where everybody has their own powers and stuff too.
Yeah,
That's always really cool.
I agree. I'm also I'm binging the Zodiac Academy right now.
Okay.
I'm on book 3, and that's part of the fun. Like they all get a certain type of like element, and they could get multiple. So you find out that like really quickly what the main characters get, but then they also have like an animal that they can turn into, and it has magic. And so they haven't revealed like what the main characters are yet, and I'm just like on the edge of my seat. I'm so excited to find out.
I love that.
I love
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Well, do you want to talk about Cloak and Dagger Burlesque a little bit?
Yes, let's do it. Okay, let me tell you where I stopped so you can tell me what happened at the end of the book because I'm not quite
Okay.
Okay, I stopped when they were in Central Park and they started talking about this heist that they were going to do so that the other people wouldn't do it. So I'm guessing, actually, I don't know what happens because I like the dad, the rogue or whatever. He's kind of tricky, and I like a tricky character like that. So I don't know if he actually had a treasure, or if he secretly. I don't want him to be a bad guy because I don't know. I don't know what happens. Tell me.
Okay, so this is the thing. There's a couple things with this one too where I was like, this is okay. I gave it like a 3 because I liked the main dragon lady, the dragons. She was really cool. And this is another one where there's a lot of magic creatures and they all have like different powers and stuff, and that was cool. And there were some good fight scenes and some good spicy scenes, and I like that. The dad is not bad.
Okay, good.
He's cool. We get to know him more. He gets like back together with his band of other adventurers that he used to go and adventure with. It's actually really cute. But like they say they're gonna do the heist so the other people can't get the thing, whatever it is. But it doesn't end up being very heisty.
Oh, okay.
It's more like it's like we found this door and we're gonna open it.
Wow.
Cool. So that was interesting. And also there's not a treasure.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. It was gonna be like a trick like that.
There's not. The guy thought that there was, the creepy guy, Galeth or whatever, the elf guy. No, fully her dad, not to just fully spoil it, but her dad was like, oh, I know that we've had, issues with people coming after us and stuff. I know you don't feel safe. So he made a panic room in the club. So the secret door was to a panic room that was like through a bunch of booby traps and stuff.
So they could hide in there so she could use it if that was your purpose?
He said he decided not to tell her because he made it like underground. And then he was thinking about it once it was done. And he was like, wait, my daughter has like PTSD from being shoved in a hole in the ground. Like maybe that's not going to be a real safe spot for her. And then he was really embarrassed. So he like sealed the door and like hid it from her, didn't tell her. And then the bad guys thought that was like his secret treasure trove or whatever. And we're trying to break in to get it. And it's like there was nothing even in there. The Galeth guy was just like a weirdo. So
I'm guessing Alona or whatever her name is beat him up.
Yeah.
And then they ended up happily ever after.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And the dad kind of has a happily ever after too with this gal, Flora, who is in his adventuring band or whatever. Apparently he was like down bad for her for he's old, so I don't like his old forever. A long time. Whatever.
Good for him. Yeah, so, I want to read more books with characters that are like tricky, where they're not totally good, but they're not evil. And they're just looking out for themselves, but they still have like people that they care about. I really like those kind of characters. Yeah,
that was cute. But this book is not in a series, but it's in the same world as some of her other books. So some of the stuff I already had heard about, like in King's Fall and some of the other businesses and stuff. And like his friends run some of the businesses that show up in like the other books. So it's kind of cool because there's like some crossover, but you don't have to like read them in an order or whatever.
I like that.
So That was kind of fun. But I was gonna go insane with how many times the dragon lady called the pixie girl trouble. I was like,
That my number
stop.
one reason I said these nicknames are too much. I can't deal with it. The dialogue in general was my main problem, probably my only problem. The nicknames. Like, I like Troublemaker. If you stuck to that, that's fine. But like, my little Daisy, Rosebud, you met this bitch yesterday. Like, please. I would get the ick so bad if someone started calling me all of these things. I'd be like, choose one, and that's it. Please.
Yeah, she was like breaking out her flower dictionary for these nicknames. It was a lot.
And I only got like 29% in too. I can't imagine like what other one she came up with. And then there are a couple times when someone would say something. This is just a personal pet peeve. One of my biggest ones. Everyone like fell to the floor laughing. Like Delilah and her dad would like cackle. Like he like threw his head back, laughed, and I fell to the floor of the car because Alona's just so funny. And what she said was like not even a joke. It wasn't even like an LOL. It wasn't even a that's funny. It was like, what is happening here? That's
You're like, what's funny? I missed it. Yeah, I had a couple of times like that too.
Yeah. That just is like a bugging thing. And then what was the last thing? I didn't write it down, but I was telling Grant about it. The whole book. He was like, interesting. He's really into like Dungeons and Dragons though. So I was asking him like, what's a rogue? And he like gave me this full definition, and I hadn't heard him talk that much in the whole day. I was like, wow, okay.
I love that. That's really funny.
But I think, oh yeah, the fact that her dad ran this club and she was just like, it made me uncomfortable. It really did. I was like, I can't imagine doing this in front of my friends' parents, let alone my parents. Like, I don't even have parents, so it's insane. And then she'd like be flirting and like spanking Alona right in front of her dad.
Yeah, there was
I would rather kill myself.
Yeah, there was a lot of like real open and aggressive flirtation happening in front of her dad.
Yeah.
But her dad like didn't really care because
he's like non-judgy, and I do like that in his character.
He's non-judgy, and he like was supportive of their relationship, which was sweet. Like, I think he could tell that the dragon lady was like good for his daughter and stuff, which is great. But you would have really fell over and died, because later on there's like a scene where he walks in on them like doing it in his house, like in his kitchen, and he walks home from work and is like, hi.
Oh, yikes. And I think the other one was too that like she's protective. That's like her quality, right?
Right.
But then they've known each other for 2 days, and then Delilah had a panic attack, which was really sad actually. But then Alona's just like, let me touch you. Like that would drive me up a wall, like a practical stranger touching me when I'm like freaking out. I was like, okay, you guys are moving too fast. I can't handle it. I'm a little bitch. Sorry.
No, I get that. I feel like both of these kind of had that thing of like they meet each other and then are immediately like down bad for each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, where is the buildup? Where's the buy you dinner, get to know you? Where is it at?
At least this one, they had like some like heavy flirtation, like she wore underwear at her, but
yeah, that was funny. But
that was funny. And like there's some texting a little bit too like fast, but at least they had a little bit of back and forth.
Yeah.
But I need some more.
To
be quite honest.
Yeah, and also there's a line in here like towards the end where the dragon lady is like, after this, we're gonna need like therapy. I'm like, no, you need the therapy from the jump, because you guys both have like PTSD and it's bad.
Yeah.
So
like you should have been in that office with that doctor.
Yeah, he should have made that panic room into a therapist office, because they needed it real bad.
Yeah, for sure. I do like the setting though of the like, and the describing of like the dances. I like how she was like, sometimes they're just hot. There's like no story here. So that was funny. But I also like that as like a piece of art form. I think it's pretty fun.
I kind of wanted more of that, of the burlesque stuff, because I
Yeah.
thought that was cool. And I feel like the first half, you get more of that and more of their flirty banter with the like throwing underwear at her and stuff.
And the dildo smacking her.
Yeah, that was funny. But then the last half, it becomes more like they're kind of fighting off these creepy guys who are coming after the club and trying to rob them and all that stuff.
Yeah, see, I didn't read the description before I DNF'd, and so I didn't realize it was going to be a heist story, although I guess it didn't even end up being that quite. But I thought it was going to be just like a slice of life by the way I was reading it. I was like, oh, I kind of like this. It's kind of like a smutty Legends and Lattes kind of thing. And I think I just need that. I don't need like I kind of, I just want a chiller, hotter version, I guess, of Legends and Lattes. And I did think it was going to go in that direction, but the dialogue, I just couldn't. It was cringe. I hate to use that word but that's what it is.
That's fair. Well, in the last part, I don't know what it is with this author. I like her stuff. It's fun.
But
I just feel like when I get towards the end, it just goes on too long. Like there's always a point where I'm like, this feels like it should be the ending. We've reached the climax of the story. It has ended. But then it still goes on for another like 7 chapters. And I'm always like, why? Yeah, consistently.
And what happened in like the last, like they were just happily ever after, or like they had some other issues?
Not really. It's always like it has to wrap up like every single thing with every single person and like explain every little thing. And it's like
we gotta do that like in the middle or something, or weave throughout. So, yeah.
It's always like they defeat the bad guy and we did the thing we came here to do, and then it goes on for another 7 chapters. And then the whole end was like her dad meeting up with his buddies again and like talking out why their whole band broke up. And it's like, that could have been like 2 sentences of like,
yeah, he's not the main character. He doesn't just like,
it's like they had to go into his whole backstory at the end and make sure he got his like really pound in his happily ever after. And it was like, we didn't need it. We didn't need it. Too much. Too much.
It was fun though. It was fun.
I feel like that's the thing with reading smutty stuff, is it's like, it's fun, but there's always stuff where you're like, oh, this dialogue is cringe, or these spicy scenes are cringe, or it
went on too long. Yeah.
Or it was too like insta-lovey for no reason or whatever.
Yeah. It's like you gotta deal with the shit to get the good stuff.
Yeah. I will say with Cloak and Dagger Burlesque, I liked that it was sapphic, and I liked their little relationship was really cute and fun, and there is some really good fight scenes in here later on. And this author does that really well. Like her fantasy fight scenes are really good. And sometimes they're just like in a romance for no reason, but you're like, this is a good scene, you know?
Like, I feel like I have to be in the mood for like a fight scene. And I do like it in the 3rd act. Like that's why I like mafia romance, because there's always some sort of like like thriller aspect to it. And I'm just like, yeah, beat his ass.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that was an interesting couple of books.
It was. I really do. Like, I'm glad I pushed through with the Wrath King, which is so funny because I DNF'd this at page 89 and I didn't start liking the Wrath King until page 90. And I was like, wait a minute, should I keep going? Because what if it's the same thing? But that marriage of convenience storyline, I'm just a sucker for it. It's one of my favorite tropes. And I wish they put that in the synopsis, because I feel like more people would read it.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Yeah, I like the marriage of convenience stuff. I also felt like there was a few times towards the beginning, like once they did the whole ceremony at the Moon Palace and had like the marriage thing, and they were in the tent at the encampment with the soldiers and stuff. I mean, only one bed trope was right there. And it didn't have to be like spicy, but she was just like pissed off the whole time, being like, you're going to sleep with somebody else. He hasn't even slept with you, bitch. What do you mean?
I just like how, like, through his point of view, he saw that she was so tense. And then he was like, as soon as he said it, like, he saw her relax. And then I thought something like fun was going to happen. But
yeah, it didn't have to be saucy, but it could have been funny. And she fully says, like, hey, my slip is basically see-through.
I know, I was waiting for it. And then she like goes out like outside, and I was like, please go out without your robe on, just for fun, just for fun, please.
I felt like that was right there, and it just didn't happen. Also, okay, the virginity stuff, that's a thing for me. I don't like having to read about. I hate that. I hate it, especially when it's a thing where like it has to be in front of people. Oh, I hate that. Kill myself.
Yeah.
Die. I hate
like
it.
Sometimes it's fun in scenes when they have to do it in front of people, but like if it's a point of like virginity specifically, it's like I like ew, please stop.
Yes.
Which is funny because I feel like not in front of people, but in mafia romance, which is one of my favorite things to read, it's so prevalent in there. And I feel like the standouts are the ones that go against that, where it's like the whore of the community like has a love story. And I'm like, yes, please. Let's hear for the whores, please.
I love that. That's so funny.
What would he have done if she hooked up with that dude? Like, cause he could have 2 fingers just because he like
right. Okay, I was wondering the same exact thing today. I was thinking about that. I was like, would he just like cut off some other things or killed him or what? Like what?
Like, come on, that's not cool.
It
wasn't
cool.
Yours, and she's not yours. Like my feminism starts acting up when I think like that. I'm just like, please.
It's like, okay, when she got betrothed to that dude, she was still a kid. Like she did not know you.
Yeah.
Don't make it weird.
Yeah, she wasn't like, maybe if like they had hooked up after they made this thing and he like gave her a kiss goodbye, then maybe it would have been more like, oh, I understand why you're jealous now.
Right. And the guy didn't even make a move. He was like mad, but he didn't even like talk to her or do anything.
Yeah. I mean, he did sound like a little bitch, but
he did sound like an asshole and his wings are blue and that sounds fugly, but it doesn't mean you have to cut his fingers off. Too much. But I did love the scene when he asked her like how many times did he touch you? That was a fun scene. I was
expecting more of that like immediately after. That was a good scene.
That was a good
fun. She was like, oh shit, I think I want to be a whore.
It was funny though. I like those scenes of like, okay, they still don't know each other super well, but they have this
connection.
Yeah, they have the connection, but I needed more of that before she did the whole lake trial with the priestesses and all that stuff.
Yeah, they should have really dragged that out, and they could have, and it would have been great.
Well, and especially when she's like living in his palace before they do the thing.
The reason I read Marriage of Convenience, because it's like they're stuck together, and that like before they're fully in love, all those little instances, those are like sugar cubes that I just want to nibble on.
I totally agree. Like running into him in the hallway or like the kitchen or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's fun. Right there. Yeah. Yeah. And I really do wish they would have like done more with those scenes when she was before the in front of the people with the virginity shit. We didn't need that, but
pass the flames around. But then by the end of it, they didn't even do it. And then he invited her. So it's like, what was the point? Why did you even make her do this? I don't know. If you're a king and you can make up all the rules and like...
Right? I was thinking that too, that he was going to say, we're not going to do that in front of everybody.
Or like, let's act like we do. If they like made like that would have been fun. And they were like, they were like pretending. And then like they realized while they're pretending like, oh, this is hot. You know, that would have been cool if they had like this buddy sort of like, let's just fake this for the people. That would have been really cool. Okay, I need to write a book. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I think that's super true. Yeah, I was thinking that too, because it kind of one thing I hate too, and I hated this in the Grace Draven one too, when there's like a spicy scene and it's like one of their first spicy scenes, and this is like a pivotal moment, and then afterwards he's just like cold to her or whatever, something like that.
I really felt for her in that moment because I knew what he was thinking when he saw the tears. But like for her, like, damn, that would have, like, my self-esteem would have been like,
I need that eye twitch one more time. Yeah, no, I hate that whole like they do the thing and then he just acts like a weirdo afterwards, or is like a dick.
Really, it would make me not like the person because it's so immature. Like even if he was upset, it's like, what do you think she is right now? Like,
Oh,
what is
yeah.
your, like, you think you're doing her this big favor by not like going near her, but if you thought about it for 2 seconds and put yourself out of this, you'd
Mhm.
be able to realize you could just ask her, "Hey, how are you?" Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like
The girl
unattractive
needs a hug.
baby behavior.
Yeah. No, I
Like,
hate that. Also, it's like, "Oh, you feel weird? Like, you didn't just run around in a room full of people you don't know, totally naked, covered in runes? Quit crying." Like,
exactly.
she's also never done that before. Like, she went way farther with him than she's ever done with anybody.
Yeah.
And you just made it so weird. I would be like, "Don't ever
I
come in
felt
near
for,
me."
I felt for her. I was like, "Damn, please don't talk to him for a little bit." Or like,
I hate that,
yeah.
bro. I feel like that's one of those things where that's hard to recover from that.
That's what I'm saying. And then all he did to make up for it was bring her to the cave and like manhandle her. And then she was like, "Oh wait, this actually feels really great, and you're giving me a hug, so we're in love." That was weird. That transition. I feel like the author wrote that scene in the cave and then had to connect it. You know, it felt like it wasn't fully,
Disjointed, yeah.
yeah. But it was
Yeah.
a long ass book.
Dude, I
I
know.
wonder, I wonder how long it takes someone to write a 500-page book with like fantasy aspects and like world building and things like that.
Probably a long time. But also sometimes, you read a book that long and you're like, how many things actually happened in this book? You know what I'm saying? You're like, how is it this many pages? How many descriptions of castles did we get? Because it's not here.
And
The
how many
explanation of why,
characters do we never see again and we have to learn their really complicated name? That
yeah,
was annoying.
and
There's
we have
too
to
much.
hear about all the hoes at the encampment, and I don't care about the hoes. Can you give me why they like each other, please?
Please.
I would rather have 3 pages of that
Three.
instead of so many pages of all of the men doing their man things. We don't care about the men doing their man things. They're
Yeah,
stinky
just
men.
give it one
Okay?
sentence, we're good.
Yeah, yeah.
And there were a couple times in the beginning where they repeated lines that were like very similar. Like the thing where he said, "I never thought about her like that before because she was a child." He said it like 4 times. And then
Yeah.
at one point he totally contradicted himself because because he kept saying he's never thought about her since like that. And then after the fourth time he said that, he's like, "I often thought about and wondered about what she looked like. And I'm sure I've heard how beautiful she was." And I was like, you
Yes.
just said 3 or 4 times that you'd never heard that she was so beautiful or that she was an adult woman. Like,
Mhm.
please edit this. I don't know. Oh, that was mean. Sorry.
No, I've been that way too with a lot of romances that I've read recently where they say stuff like that and it contradicts things that they already said. Or like they repeat similar lines and phrases over and over. There's a lot of typos or whatever. And it just drives me nuts because I'm like, edit this book. It
Please.
takes me out of the smut. We're here for the smut, but it takes me out of the smut when you're donking up the details. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You're making this guy sound dumb.
Yeah. We don't want him to be dumb. We want him to be the hot dragon rider fae guy with the fire and all that shit.
There were a couple times where um I guess it was just the one time, but when they had that dude's, oh no, it was a couple times, the evil dude's perspective where it was like unnamed and he's like, he's such an idiot. And I was like, wait, you're kind of right.
It's bad when you're starting to root for the guy who doesn't even have a name in his POV, and you're
I
like,
know.
no, he's right
I was
though.
thinking for a second, how good would it be if they pulled like a Sarah J. Maas where like the bad guy was also like a good guy, or
Mm-hmm.
like there were, I love a love triangle where the people have like equal amounts of opportunity here, or like you don't know which one it's going to be or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm begging for a nuanced evil character because this one was kind of basic. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, I get that. I think it would have been more interesting if there would have been more of that. Because the thing too is the main guy Gaul is a very much like touch her and you die, jealous, whatever, whatever. But okay, he cut off that guy's fingers, but like he has no rival in here because he gets her into the spot from the beginning where like she's stuck. She can't do shit. Like, also, why did she agree to be like, okay, you're gonna lose your kingdom and you're gonna be forced to have his kids? Like, you are getting nothing in this bargain. I would have been
I
like,
think
you have
she
to give me.
knew that like he wouldn't, because he was sort of threatening to kill all of her people. because she didn't know he wasn't like. So I kind of get why she did it, and I kind of like that she was just like, yeah, I don't really care about my own happiness right now. But then I don't know. I don't know.
I wanted more of her like fighting him on stuff.
Pushing back.
Like I liked when she got pissed off. I wanted to be like, let's have a fight. Fight, do it.
For real.
I wanted the conflict, so then we could have this spicy scene that resolves the conflict. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We needed more of that.
Yeah.
And I needed him to just straight up tell her, like, when she was being mad at him because she was worried that he was going to cheat on her with somebody else. And then in his head, he's like, I don't want anybody else. I only want her. Okay, well then tell her that, because if I have to keep reading that she thinks you're going to cheat on her, I'm going to go crazy.
This is like a really big territorial kind of story. And I feel like it kind of was a little too much, just because I think that's fun, but it's not my favorite thing. So maybe it'd be better for someone else. But how many times did he say, "You're mine"? Like, we get it. We get it.
Yeah, she's yours because you made her sign a treaty, you weirdo. Like, is she really yours because you forced her into this whole thing in the first place? So, like,
I wish they would bring that up a little bit more. I don't know. As I would. Like, even as a joke, even if, like, we ended up falling in love, it'd be like, yeah, remember when you, like, held me hostage and, like, blackmailed me into fucking
dude, yeah, I feel like you can't just let that go and be like, oh, that was totally fine and chill and kosher. Like, you have to bring that up and be like, hey, you remember when you made me sign that tree so I'd have your baby? That was fucking weird.
Yeah.
You can't just let him get away with that. That's gold. You have to, like,
I guess she definitely wears a pants now, though, because, like, she's like, take me here. And he's like, no. And she's like, and he's like, okay, fine. So
she's like his weakness or whatever.
Got him whipped for sure.
Yeah.
But at what cost?
Yeah, at what cost? I don't know. I wanted her to fight him more on stuff. I wanted there to be more of the fighting banter.
Yeah, I like that. It's fun. Fiery.
It's fun.
Because as soon as they got together in that cave, there was no, and I do kind of like it. There was no, like, what's the word? Conflict between them. They were like a solid force. But that was like another 300 pages. And I feel like it would have been a little bit more interesting to have a little bit more conflict with them. But at the same time, I kind of like that there wasn't. But it was a long ass book.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I get it.
Been interesting too, the length that it was and the amount of stories, especially in the beginning, that they hopped over. If, like, there was the first book that was like her getting caught and being brought into the dungeon, and then that was like it could have been a whole book by itself, just like a 300-page book instead.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Or it could have even been like a novella or something to like set it up. And then
at the end of the book, it did say there was a novella, and I wonder, I didn't even like start to read it. There was like an excerpt, but I'm wondering when and where and who it takes place with. I guess I probably should have looked.
To look into that. That's interesting. I don't know. I liked the beginning because it kicks off with a bang with her in the cell and him breaking out and all that stuff, but yeah, we don't get to see that whole buildup, you know? And you don't get to see the buildup of the plague, too, that's, like, hitting her people.
That's true.
And that was a whole nother thing of, like, that was her whole motivation of why she got into all this shit with that kingdom in the first place, because she was trying to find the cure.
Well, like, the quest thing later definitely brings that back up, but she loses that plot while she's, busy being held hostage, I guess.
Right, yeah. I want it to, when you have two characters and you're like, these could be so good together, and they just don't quite have all of the discussions they need to have to be able to make the spicy scenes like really hit. Ooh.
Yeah. I feel you. So what are you reading now? Or wait a minute. Tell me about your wedding.
Oh, my wedding. It was lovely.
Where are your pictures? I need like something. I need
Okay, we don't have pictures back yet because they're still editing them. because they took like a ton of them and apparently it takes a while. So that's still in progress, but it was lovely. It was a lovely fall day.
Yeah.
And it was outside at a pond. And when because we were like in the woods for part of it, like me and the wedding party, because we were trying to hide in the trees because all the people who were at the ceremony were like sitting in the chairs. And I was like, hey, I want to hide behind the tree and then come out and so you can see my dress and it'll be cute. But when we did it for real, like we practiced the day before and whatever. And then during the actual ceremony, everybody else went, all the bridesmaids and stuff. And I was with my dad and I was about to cross this little bridge to go and walk down the aisle for my wedding. And there was a baby moose came out of the woods. Oh. And my dad, I didn't even see it at first. And my dad was like, Alea, there's a moose. And I was like, oh shit. Because if there's a baby moose, usually there's a mom moose and then you're in trouble. And I was like, is a moose going to just tear through my wedding right now? And it was at weird angles. The guests couldn't see it. Only my dad and I could see the moose.
Gosh.
And so my dad was like, I think it's going the other way. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I think it's going to be fine. It's not going to like ruin anything. So sure enough, it like looked at us and then like scurried off into the forest.
I feel like that's a good omen. I'm just
saying. Well, then I looked it up afterwards and my maid of honor was like, yeah, it is like a symbol of good luck.
It's a magical thing. I feel like maybe just because I've never seen a moose. It seems like magical.
It was cool. Yeah. So that was awesome. So it was great. It went really well, actually. I was really nervous that things were going to like, whatever, go awry or whatever, but it was great. It was beautiful. And we did bubbles at the end too. So we're going to have some pictures or like at the end of the ceremony with like the bubbles. So
I've never seen anyone do that. Like, why haven't people been doing that for centuries?
I don't know, but I saw like a couple pictures on Pinterest of people doing it. And I was like, oh, that looks really cool.
That is the vibe.
So I'm going to do that. And then we have all these leftover bubble wands. And so Rigby's new favorite thing is to play bubbles. And so we blow bubbles for the cat and he will like catch them with his paws and stuff. It's really cute.
Oh, that's so cute.
Cute. Very cute. But yeah, wedding was good. Everybody played nice. And we had a big potluck and it was great. I went and played cornhole in my wedding dress after the ceremony. It was really chill.
Oh, sounds like fun.
Yeah. And then we went to Montana. For the beginning of our honeymoon, went to the hot springs. That was cool. And then we went to Minnesota and we went and saw some of our friends. We went to Minneapolis and that was cool. We went to a whole bunch of bookstores.
Oh, that's fun.
So it was quite the adventure. But getting back,
States, my God.
Yeah, we did. It was kind of weird, but yeah. So then coming back, our flights got all messed up and we got stuck in Seattle. And so we had to stay at my aunt's house for a couple days because the flights, they were all booked and we couldn't get home. So we got stuck a little bit. That was fun. It was right before the Hurricane Milton hit in Florida. Yes. And so we were stuck in Seattle at the airport with a bunch of people from Florida who were really pissed off. And that was fun.
Being from Florida, I know what that would be like. So
yeah. So it was an adventure. I got home and I was like, I am not leaving the house for another 6 months.
Who was taking care of Rigby?
My friend Noel cat sits for us and comes over and makes sure he didn't do anything weird or.
Was he excited to see you when you came home?
Yeah. Oh my God. He was so butthurt that we were leaving because we came home for like one day in between Montana and then the Minnesota trip. And we were getting ready to leave for Minnesota and our flight was leaving in like an hour. And Peyton came in and he was like, did you know that Rigby is sitting on our bed eating marshmallows? And I was like, I was not aware. He got into like leftover stuff from the wedding and he was eating marshmallows and he was wiping his butt all over the floor and he was just being a disaster. And I was like,
do that. I'm surprised he didn't like pee on your bed or something because they will do that.
He was pissed off.
Yeah.
So that was fun. We came back and he was so like happy to see us.
Aww.
He was just a total baby. So yeah, and then we promptly got him a sister who he's
like, what did I do? Why did you do this?
What have you done? You left me and then you brought home another cat.
Yeah.
Whatever. They'll figure it out. They're okay. Like they'll eat next to each other, like out of the same bowl and not care. Good. But then they turn around and hiss at each other for like petty shit and he like pushes her off the table. They mess with each other.
Are scary. I don't.
Yeah.
Like I know they're just playful some of the time, but it's like if something hissed at me, I'd piss myself like that. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's funny. Sometimes Rigby hisses at her, and Nellie will turn around and she'll just like slap him on the tail and like walk away.
Good for her.
She's hilarious. She has some tude, and she does not put up with his bullshit at all. She's like, actually, I'm the queen. I don't know if you know, but it's my house, so move.
Yeah, I feel like girl cats too. They're the boss,
Mm-hmm.
and they slowly will take over. So good for her.
Yeah. She's really chill. She's way more chill than Rigby, but also she still runs the show though. But she loves heights, and she's like a little tightrope walker. Like any kind of little stuff up high that she can get on, she will just boop 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 boop.
Oh, she's a ninja.
Oh, she's totally a ninja. She climbs all the way from the floor up my leg up to my shoulder and just sits here like a parrot.
I had a cat that used to do that, except it hurts because they like claw their way up.
Yes. So my legs are like shredded from her just trying to climb me like a tree.
Oh, so how cold is it there?
It's not that bad right now. We had snow like last week a little bit, but it didn't stick. It's just rainy and gross. So it's not too bad yet, but yeah, we're probably going to get big snow here in the next week or so. So
it's 80 degrees right now.
You dog. How are you doing in your new apartment? You sweating to death?
I am. It's fucking hot in here because like when you have the windows open, or if you're just outside, the breeze is going and it's like paradise. It's like, oh yeah, I live in paradise. But inside, it can't get all the flow, even with all the windows open. So, and then at night, because we live on the first floor, we have to close all the windows because I don't need a night stalking situation. And it gets so hot in here. It's like a greenhouse or something. And I'm just like, ooh. But it's now 80 degrees. It's like the high every day. And when we first moved in here, it was like 85. And you don't think that 5 degrees is going to make a big difference, but it really does. Plus, we're like in rainy season now. We have like monsoon season. Ooh. And it's been cooling things down a lot because there's no like direct sunlight. So I am liking it a little better.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad you guys found a place.
Me too.
Moving sucks.
That was stressful. I think I told you like every time we've done a live show, like, yeah, we're gonna eventually move. We have no idea where.
Right. Yeah.
That was stressful. And then as soon as I found out, I was like, okay, I feel fine now. I just needed that puzzle piece, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's hard because it disrupts like everything else that you have going on when you know that you have that coming up.
It's like, will I be homeless in a month? I don't know.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, we have to move this summer.
Really?
Not excited. I don't know where we're moving to. I have no idea because part of why we went to Minnesota for the last part of the honeymoon is because we were thinking about maybe moving there.
Oh, what'd you think?
But we like it, but we went to Minneapolis, and that's like the big city, and there's a lot of stuff there, and it's really cool. There's like a big like art music scene over there, which is kind of cool, kind of different. But we were like, okay, being in the city is too crazy. The traffic is too crazy, being on the freeway all the time and all that stuff. So we found some other little towns that are outside of that, like 30 minutes outside. So we had a rental car and we just drove all over to different places to figure out, okay, what do we like? And so we found this little town. It's like 30 minutes outside of Minneapolis, and we really like it. It's very cute, like has some couple main streets with lots of little shops, and it's right by a river, and it's very cute. And they had everything decorated for Halloween when we were there. And they have 2 bookstores that are actually like... Okay.
You're in Stars Hollow. You got to move there.
Yeah, well, I love it. It's so cute. But, you know, we got home and we were thinking, okay, that's going to be a big cross-country move with 2 cats, too. So, I don't know, but our lease is up in June. And we were like, okay, we're not going to renew the lease. And at first we were thinking, okay, we're going to stay in Idaho for a little bit longer and then look at doing the cross-country move. But then I was looking at places and how much rent is. And I was like, we're getting to that point where, okay, the rent is so much that we are getting close to just a mortgage amount.
Yeah.
So we're hitting that point where it's like, okay, it would be more expensive for us to stay in Idaho than to move to Minnesota because the rent is cheaper there. And I'm like, I think we could probably afford a fixer-upper house if we move there.
Yeah.
So we're kind of hitting that point of like, okay.
That feels so adult. Oh my gosh. But
yeah, it feels so adult. And we just got married and now we have the cats and they're so little and oh my God. So I don't know. We might, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, we should just do it.
I think so. I mean, I know my opinion really matters to you guys.
But yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, if we just do it now, then we can go and like find a place to rent there and make sure we really like it. And then if we want to get a house there, we could do that. Because I'm like, what's the point of staying here when we don't really want to stay here and paying like a ton of rent?
How are you? I'm sorry if you don't want to discuss this on live, but like with your jobs and stuff, like, do they know you're looking to move?
Yeah, they do for mine. He is in his last semester of teaching, and then he's going to be totally remote, working for himself for his own business. So, and then I just put in for a remote position last week. So it might happen. The stars could align where we could both end up being fully remote before the lease is up. And in that case, it would be like kind of like what you're doing where, you know, you work for the university, but you can be in a different state or whatever.
Yeah.
So it would be like that same kind of deal.
Nice.
So it could potentially happen where it's like, okay, maybe we don't need to like be here in person to just do the same stuff we're already doing anyways. So.
Well, this is exciting. See, I feel like when other people are going through stuff like this, I'm like, I'm so excited for you. But when it's happening to me, I'm just like, I'm so fucking stressed.
Yes, I know. Yeah, that's the thing. And I hate moving too. It stresses me out. But I'm like more excited about moving to a new place and having like a total fresh start and like a cute little town, you know, instead of like staying in a place where you're like, I've been here for a while and it's kind of, you know, I'm excited about doing that.
For sure.
So that could very well happen. But we thought it was going to be way more chill once the wedding was done. And now it's like, oh, it's not chill. We're super busy with stuff and then looking at the move and whatever. I need 2025 to be my chill year when this move is over because this has been too much.
Yeah, I feel you.
But we shall see. I really want to host a readathon in 2025.
Do it.
Because I know we talked about that one like ages ago.
Yeah.
But I was thinking I want to do like a Christmas one at some point and have it be like the Heat Miser and the Freeze Miser. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, that'd be really funny, actually. I love that movie. Oh my God.
Me too.
So nostalgic.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool if you had like a readathon where there was like one team for each of them and they could like go head to head.
That'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I got to cook up something. That's one of my goals for next year is to cook up a readathon.
Yeah.
Of some sort. I think that'd be cool. But we have a lot of goals, but we also have, you know, a lot of adult shit to do. So
adulting. Yuck.
I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't tell you after you get married, you have to like get joint insurance and all this stuff.
Really? We didn't do like half the shit. Like my name, I haven't changed it. I'm just like, it's kind of.
Yeah, I didn't change mine either. I was like, that's a lot of work. And Peyton doesn't care.
And then like you have to show 2 different IDs for like different things. And they're like, wait, is it this name or this name? It's like, okay, please just stop. This is my name. Like,
yes.
I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. I was that way too. But yeah, there's it's like you have to get insurance and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's
insurance because I don't think
we have to get like joint like car insurance and health insurance and all this stuff.
Yeah. I decided just to keep my health insurance like separate because he was like in weird government things and their insurance, it's probably better, but it's like a closer, it's like a smaller amount of like availability and like options. And they are so weird about me getting my own information. Like I have to get it through him because he's I'm like his dependent. And I'm just like, I get that, but like, ew. I want to be able to find my own information. I want to be able to like get a physical card myself and like go to where I want. I don't know. I have control issues with like my health, which isn't ridiculous, I don't think.
That's understandable. Yeah, that's the thing too, is like I think a lot of other people have expectations for like when you get married, especially like as a woman, it's like you have to change your name and all these things, and it's like, do you?
The big one too, like we were thinking, should we get a joint bank account or what?
Right. Mm-hmm.
We decided not to, just because we both have, well, at the time we both had similar paying jobs. Now he's getting paid really, really well, and I'm just like, maybe we should do a joint bank account. I'm just but yeah, and I like having, I'm a comfort creature, whatever it's called, creature of comfort. Yeah. I like my things, I like my bank, I like,
me too.
I don't want it to change too much. The thing is, I think we should get joint insurance, but I've been driving his car around because we only have one car since we moved to Hawaii, because we didn't want to ship a whole nother vehicle. It costs like $100. So we've just been using his car. I'm just like driving it willy-nilly on his insurance. If I get pulled over, they're like, ma'am, whose car is this? I was like, well, it's not mine, but
you're like, it's my husband's, but we have different names.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, we decided to do the separate money thing too. I think we're gonna do like a joint account and like put like a certain amount in there for like the rent and all that joint stuff for all the cat food that we buy, so we don't have to Venmo each other every 5 minutes for whoever paid for what, because it's dumb.
It is dumb.
But I mean, we've been doing that for so long that it's not, you know what I mean? It's like, well, like this works. Yeah. But I don't know. We had a family member who found out that we don't have joint money, even though we're married. And they strongly implied that if you don't have joint money, then you don't really love each other.
I had the same thing said to me by a family member, but like a foster family member. And I'm just like, well, you believe that I will go to hell for having sex. So
right. So like yeah. So that's interesting to get to that point where you're married and then everybody else is like giving you their unsolicited advice. And you're like, I'm super glad you're telling me that. I definitely didn't talk to my spouse about this and already come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Thanks for the input we didn't ask. There's a reason we didn't ask,
Just wait till everyone starts asking about kids and stuff.
That's why we need to move before people start asking. Because then it's like, well, you're not going to see them because you live far away, so it doesn't matter what we do. Whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. We like Minnesota, and there's also a lot of stuff over there for Peyton and his animation stuff. Like we went and toured an animation studio over there with a bunch of people he knows who work there, and they're really cool. And there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a ton of bookstores that are really cool indie bookstores.
That is wild to me because there's only like a true independent bookstore here that like sells new books and things like that. We have like some used bookstores, but not even that much here. Wow. I want to move to a town eventually that has like independent bookstore. They need a coffee shop.
Yes, the one in this small town is an independent bookshop with a coffee shop in the back.
Okay, you have to move. I'm sorry.
Yes,
you have to go.
I saw it and I was like, this is so cute. And when we were there, I just was looking online at like cute little towns. And I was like, this one seems good. We should go look at it. And they were having an art festival while we were there. And we just walked into it and they had all these little booths and it was all art. And it was so cool. And they have like seasonal ones. So there's like a fall one and they have a Christmas one. And it's very festive and they decorate. It's cute.
I like it too when you move to a town that has like a community like that where there are like events and things like that. It sounds so fun.
Yeah. It was really cute. And I don't know, the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, I want to go back there. That would be so good for us. And
if it sucks, you can fix it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like if we don't like it, we could always move back.
Yeah.
But when you're really lukewarm about where you currently live, it's like, okay, well, why not go somewhere else? You know what I mean?
Especially if you end up getting remote. Like, fuck it.
Yeah. So we shall see, fingers crossed. but we'll see how it all works out. But I'm kind of hoping that we could do that. So, because we've been talking about wanting to move somewhere for a long time, and we've also been talking about wanting to get like a fixer-upper house too. So,
see, I cannot wait to. Well, if we stay in Hawaii, we're never going to own a home because the homes here are like $1 million for like a tiny old house with like no yard and like your neighbors are this close to you.
Oh my God.
And so that's never going to happen. But I dream of owning a place so that I can do random shit to the house, like make an archway or like do like home shit that I see online all the time. Like I want to experiment so bad with like wallpaper. My stomach is growling so bad. I'm sorry if you can hear that. But yeah, I feel like that'd be so fun to like do little projects in your house. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and then we were talking about it and we were like, if we got one that's kind of older and like she's kind of crusty, but we could gut it, wouldn't be that big of a deal. Then we could make it however we want,
Exactly.
And that would be really cool. And I also really want to get a place and then be able to build a catio on the back of the house for the cats.
Oh my God.
Because I think that would be really cool. And I really want to do that.
I bet they'd love that too. I feel like
they would love it.
They would love it for that. Yeah.
It'd be so dope. So, and then Peyton could have his big like office studio and we could make it all nice and
you can build a library.
Yeah, I know. It'd be so cool.
It would be.
So cool. Yeah. So whatever. We've been doing a lot of dreaming, but
that's fun.
Yeah, straight up. I was like, I bet like my family's gonna start being like, "What do you want for Christmas?" or whatever. And I'm like, is it bad to be like, I want Home Depot gift cards so I can renovate the house I don't have yet. Save that shit up.
Might as well.
Yeah, I'm like, can you pay for my moving truck so I can move?
Could you buy my house, please?
Yeah. Can we start a house fund? Yeah, that would be really dope. But yeah, it's crazy how much the rent is getting to be. I was like, because we haven't moved in a couple years. We've been here for a minute. But I was looking at stuff and I was like,
mortgage is so much cheaper than rent. And I didn't realize that for a while. I mean, it's obviously you have to have like a chunk before you buy, which is like the real hurdle. But after that, it seems like, although if things get fucked up in your house, like the water system or something, that sounds like a nightmare because you were the one who has to fix it.
Right.
Or get people to fix it. And it sounds like it could be really expensive. But honestly, I'm getting to that point where it's like, it might be easier to own. Not here, but somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're kind of like that too. Like where we live right now, we wouldn't be able to afford a place because there's no starter homes.
Yeah.
So everything is apartments or it's like expensive houses. But we were looking in Minnesota and I found a few where I was like, we could probably do that and actually renovate it and do the whole thing. And then we could have grass and a yard.
Stop.
And that would be a game changer too.
It really would. Just imagine your vlogs of you going to a little coffee in your bookstore and then you renovate something in your house and you go outside and you got your catio.
Dude, I know. So good. So we'll see. That's the thing though. It's there's so many steps to get there. Like the job stuff has to line up and then you got to figure out, okay, where are we going to rent so we have somewhere to go over there, and then we have to find that house place and figure out how to do that whole thing. And
it'll be a process. We'll see though. Isn't it cool that we'll just know one day what's going to happen?
Dude, yeah. It's going to be a process, but we're getting to that point where it feels like it's time, where it's like, why would I want to stay and keep renting here,
Especially if you're like meh about it.
Yeah.
So I did ask what you're reading right now, and then I interrupted you. So let me ask again.
Okay, dead ass. I think I'm in the middle of like 15 books I think that's what my Goodreads says. It's criminal. Criminal. Oh, you know what I started the other day? Because of you. I started
Pony Confidential.
I started Pony Confidential, and it's so good.
I saw your TBR. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I just got it from the library.
Dude, it's really good.
Really? Okay, yay.
I've been reading the ebook, and it's so funny because it switches between like the POV from the pony who's really vengeful and like pissed off, and then the Lady Penny who's like his old owner, and she's got like her own shit going on. Oh, it's
Oh,
fun.
that's cool. I didn't know it was like multiple POVs.
I didn't either, but it's really good, and the pony is really funny.
I love a funny animal.
Love a funny
animal
pony.
point of view, POV. I can't. I'm getting my stomach is making so.
Dude, did you eat today?
I realized that I had not, but it's it's 1:15 here, so
You gotta get some lunch, bro.
I do. It was so funny because we scheduled this back before the time thing, so it was like supposed to be 1, and then the other day I looked at it and it said 12. I was like, did she change it? And I realized you have whatever it's called,
Daylight savings. Oh God!
I'm glad I looked at that randomly because I linked it in like my last video in the comments, like that I'm still doing this.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait, it's the like I'm so glad I looked at it because otherwise you would have been like, Allie, are you standing me up? And I would have been like, wait, I haven't even gotten dressed yet.
That's so funny. I totally forgot. I didn't even realize it was daylight savings here until like the day of, and I was like, this seems something is amiss.
Yeah, because everything's so automated now. So like I can imagine you just be like, you wake up and you don't even realize.
Yeah, you look at the clock on your oven and you're like,
are you sure?
Yeah. But it always messes me up whenever we're doing lives and stuff and we schedule stuff ahead of time and then that November daylight savings hits and I'm like, where?
Crazy that someone just made that up one day. Like,
oh, it pisses me off so bad. Every single time I'm like leaving the office and it's like super dark. And literally, it was like the day of daylight savings. And I was leaving the office. It was a freezing cold wind in my face. And I literally out loud, I think there was like my boss behind me. I was like, oh, hell no. It's so dark. I was so mad. I was like, some crusty old white man told me that I have to go home in the dark now because of daylight savings.
No.
And that's stupid.
And when it's cold, the dark is 10 times worse.
Oh, it's awful.
In Tallahassee, which is nowhere compared to Idaho, but it would get like 20-something degrees, which is absolutely insane for me, someone from South Florida, because that's like basically Georgia, and it's like North Florida, like the northest you could get. And it was crazy because I went down like south for Christmas break, and it was like 86 degrees on Christmas. Whoa. And I was swimming in the pool. And then the next day, I went back to Tallahassee. It was 26 degrees. And I was like, oh, no. There's something wrong with this. I can't do it. And I had like an 8 a.m. French class. And I simply could not get myself up and go outside. It was bad. But see, now that I'm older and in an unair conditioned home, I would kind of like it. I don't know. I say that, but then I'd be bitching.
Mm-hmm.
It's just every way you look at it, something's got to suck.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. Well, and people keep telling me, like, Minnesota has so much snow and, like, it's humid in the summer. And somebody told me, they were like, have you heard of the state bird? It's the mosquito. That's how big the mosquitoes are. They call it the state bird. And I was like, honestly, though, like, it's super hot here in the summer and we don't have air conditioning and it's miserable. And we also get a fuck ton of snow. So, like,
what's the difference?
That sounds like the same shit I bitch about where I am. I'd rather bitch about it at the bookstore in Minnesota, to be honest. Like,
I need a t-shirt that. I'd rather bitch about it at the bookstore.
Put that on a shirt. You know what? The mosquitoes can't get me because I'll be in the bookstore with the air conditioning.
Yeah.
So whatever. I'm unfazed. Watch me get a house and then I can't even hang out in the yard because it's just like tons of mosquitoes.
That's how South Florida is. I feel like you get used to it though. And it's almost like you don't even notice it. You come inside, you have like 30 bites and you're like, oh, yeah. And then you get West Nile virus. No, I'm just kidding.
You're getting all kinds of crusty diseases from your little friends.
It's honestly like part of the summer experience though. It's like part of the vibe, the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's hot here and most places don't have central AC. So it's just kind of miserable.
Really?
But yeah, because it didn't used to get this hot in the summer in Idaho. And now it's getting really hot and it's bad. And it's not built for that.
Well, the earth is dying, I guess. That's probably
whatever. The earth is on fire. It's going to be shit no matter where you live. I might as well be by the bookstore. You know what I mean?
Or in the bookstore.
Yeah. Yeah. At least my cats could have a catio instead of trying to climb me like a fucking tree. They can go climb a real tree.
Do you have like a cat tree for them?
Yeah, I do. What? It's not in my bookshelf. It's in the bedroom.
It opens up and there's a whole secret cat room.
That would be so cool. Well, I could build a secret bookshelf.
I've always wanted to do that. And I see people do it all the time on Instagram, and I'm just like, how does it feel to live my dream?
Right? Yeah. For sure. I can even have built-ins. I wouldn't have to have just like a big bookshelf that I tote around wherever. We could just have built-ins. It'd be so slick.
That would be so cool. I like all of the I sometimes research these, like the hacks you can make to like IKEA furniture to make them look like built-ins. Yeah. And like you put like molding on them. And I miss having an IKEA. I gotta tell you, there's only one furniture store on this island. It's like Ashley Furniture. It's expensive and cheap shit, like at the same time. Yeah.
That's stupid.
I need some cheap, actual cheap shit, like IKEA.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah, that's part of it too, is like we're talking about moving and we're like, how much actual nice shit would we have to move? Most of our stuff is literally from dumpsters. Like, it's not deep.
That's how it is, though. Like, at our age, I feel like you get hand-me-downs or you get like free shit. I love it. It's kind of fun. But then it's nice when you eventually start gathering in your like things you actually want. But I also kind of like that what's it called? Mix-matchy kind of like vibe, like a modern vintage kind of thing. I don't know. It's fun. Like you're an old lady looking kind of like someone walks in your house and they're like, are you old or are you just cool?
Yeah. Are you old? Are you an old cat lady? Or are you
a hipster?
a cool hipster bookish girly? Yes.
It needs to be like a meme or like an emoji somehow, just like an ear with like a hand going over it.
I need them to start making the emojis into like GIFs so they can like move. That would be really fun.
I know it's probably millennial of me, but I love communicating via GIF. I still do it with my sister. Like she'll text me and I will just send GIFs over and over and over. Like I will not speak to her outside of the GIF. And I feel like no one does it anymore. And there's less and less GIFs. And Instagram used to have the actual like GIF where it was like a block. And now they have these weird like sticker GIFs.
Yeah.
But they only have a certain amount. And it's like weird influencers doing things. I'm like, who is this person? I need Jay-Z going like this.
Yes.
I need that GIF. I need to
Dude, I know. I totally agree with you. I've started sending gifts to my coworkers at work because we have some on our like whatever our teams.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're bangers. And I'm like, I need more people to send me some banging gifts throughout the day because it's gonna get me through, you know?
I have to say, when I send a GIF, I am thinking highly of myself because I know it's slayed. And everyone's like, oh my God, look at the gift queen. And then they try and it's just not as good. And I'm just like, sorry, I won this battle. I won it. I won the gift championship.
I love it. There's some people on my team who are like the IT people and they always send me gifts and it's so funny. Like somebody sent me one the other day in a meeting and I almost had to turn my camera off because I was laughing so hard. It's so unprofessional for me to just be sitting here cackling, but it was so funny. Oh my God. I about fell over and died. It was fabulous. But that's what I need, you know? A lot of these people, they're not techie enough to know how to send a GIF in a Teams chat.
Well, I will tell you, if you work remote, there are people who it's kind of awkward. Sometimes I really like having friends at work, and it's been kind of lonely not having it. And I will try sometimes to be like buddy and like very casual with these people on my teams. And I'll be like, LOL, TGIF. And no one will say a thing. They won't like it. It'll say seen by everyone. And I'm just sitting out here like,
not the seen by everyone with no emoji reaction. That is criminal.
That's rude. Like
that is rude.
Give a girl a like.
Yeah, it wouldn't
be some human interaction here.
That is really funny. I think it would be okay for me to go remote because most of the team is already remote. There's only like 3 of us who are in person still. And I know them well and they're used to being like the remote people are used to being remote and like being funny in that way. Yeah. So I think it would be fine.
That sounds like a nice community because you guys probably like already have like a repertoire or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like it would be chill. I'd still be working with a lot of the same people. It's just like in a different unit. So
that's good.
It would be really cool. Plus, I don't know. I've heard some people say like not everybody likes being remote because it can be really isolating and stuff if you're used to, hanging out and talking to people at the office and having that like social element.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, if I'm at home, Peyton works from home and I have 2 cats. I'm like,
Yeah. Those are my coworkers now.
I'm going to get more social interaction than I do sitting in my office by myself most of the day.
I'm telling you, I want a pet so badly, and I have the perfect opportunity to. Like, I could have a dog even because I'd be here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But this place, and like every place we looked at, no pets, no pets, no pets.
Yeah.
In the contract, though, they did say cat or dog, so maybe I should get like a gerbil. I don't know.
You could get, oh my God. I want to see you get a goldfish and just put that in your vlog as your new pet. That would be so funny.
See, I'd want to pet it, and then it'd be like, you're killing me by poking me. Please stop. I don't know. Plus, fish die so quickly, and I get so sad.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You could get like a little guinea pig. That'd be funny.
That would be fun. I wanted a rat so bad, Grant and I talked Grant into it. And I can't talk that man into anything. And he was, and so we went looking. They don't have rats on this island. Like, there's not I guess there are rats. They won't have like pet rats because they have like a rat issue and they don't want them like getting out. So
you need to like, okay, so what you need to do is you need to take your camera and you need to go into the sewer and find a rat and vlog it and bring it home as your new pet rat.
At the old place, at our old house, we had rats in the attic. And so I'd always joke with Grant, like, why don't I just get one? Like, why don't I trap one and then make it my pet? But those were like chunky boys, like scary. Ew. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's funny. I love that Grant was like down for you to have a pet rat. That's really
what a supportive man. My God.
Dude, yeah, Peyton was actually surprisingly supportive about me adopting 2 kittens off of 2 different Craigslist ads.
See, I can't get Grant to do that. He is like, it's annoying because I had a cat when we first started dating, and he would talk so much shit. He loved that fucking cat. He loved it. Yeah. And the cat loved him. And then now that I want a new one, I don't know what it is. It's like he has to pretend to hate animals, but he actually loves them. What is that?
No, I totally get it. Peyton was kind of like that when we first were talking about getting Rigby. And then finally I was like, I found a place. They have 10 kittens and it's 10 minutes from our house. Like, we have to go and look at them. And I was like, maybe this man won't want to marry me, but we're getting a cat.
End of discussion.
I was like, let's just go. I was like, maybe they'll be like feral and fugly and we won't want one. Like, you never know. Maybe they'll be like little crusty little, But we went and so cute. And and so he helped me pick one out. And then we brought it home. And then, he was like, I don't know if this is a good idea, whatever. And then within like 2 days, they were like snuggling and they were best friends. And then going to get Nellie, I was looking before we got married and he was like, okay, wait until we get back from the honeymoon because there's no reason to get one. Then we know we're going to be gone for like 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah. So right after we got back, I saw the ad for Nellie and it was like her and 2 sisters. And Peyton said, okay, if we get another one, it has to be a girl. And I was like, okay, that's fair, valid, whatever. But of course, I was looking for a girl that I couldn't find any girls except her litter. And she was on there. She was so cute. And she's like longer haired. She's poofy. And I was like, she is everything. And she's the one. And so I had to like bribe these people because I was like, I want her so bad. But they didn't want to like put them on hold. And I had a work event and like couldn't go drive to get her in the middle of the week. And so I was like, I'll pay you extra if you hold her for me until Saturday because that's like the soonest I can get her. And money talks. And they were like, okay, cool, we'll do it. And I was like, yes. But then I was like, are you okay with me getting a second cat? And Peyton was like, I already knew you were going to look. Like, he just was resigned to his fate at that point. Like, he didn't care anymore. It's funny. So sometimes you got to play the wife card of like, I need a pet.
See, I did that when we first moved to Hawaii. And it did not end well because the people didn't tell us that it had kidney and urinary tract problems. And so the animal was really sick. And like within the first few days of me getting him, I spent like $1,000 taking him to the vet and trying to like get him right. And they said he is going to like, he's just incontinent and he pisses and leaks. And it was so sad. And so Grant got really, really mad because he's like a OCD, like neat freak. And like, he needs things to be, or he will lose it.
Mhm.
And it was not good. And so he brings it up. He's like, next time I get an animal, I am deciding. Like, you are not getting some random like Craigslist thing. I feel so bad for that cat though, because I talked to the people and I was like, you didn't tell us any of this information. And they were like, oh, well, we would have told you if you asked or something like that. And I'm just like, excuse me?
If you ask, it's kind of implied that you should like give them all the info before you give them a pet.
Yeah. So I told them, like, you know what? I'm glad that I got the cat to the vet. I'm not gonna like, I wasn't this like assertive actually on the phone, but
Right, yeah. Exactly.
I was like, well, I don't think it's going to work out with us. So I will like keep the cat till you find a new home. And they said they did. I kind of feel guilty because I didn't see evidence of that. Like, we just brought them back to the same place. And who knows what they did, but they said that they had a new home. But because I really did, we named him Mochi and he was so sweet and fluffy, but it was just not going to work out. Yeah. And I felt really bad about that. But yeah, those people, I hate those people. And she's like, no bad feelings, right? And I don't even think I responded to her.
You were like, girl, no.
Because when we showed up to the place to give the cat back, they weren't there. And we stayed there for like an hour and a half. And I was like, where are you? Because they told us what time to meet. And they're like, oh, we're at the beach, but there's traffic. The beach is like 2 minutes away. And Grant finally said they don't want to give us the money back. And I was like, I'm not asking for the money back. Like, I just want this animal to be taken care of. Yep. So eventually I said, well, what should we do? And they're like, you can just walk into the house. Their house was just unlocked.
What?
And leave the cat there. And I was like, you know what? I'm so done with these people. I did it. And I left them the carrier. I left them like food.
Wow.
That we bought. And it was just like, I immediately blocked the people like on Instagram after. I was like, yeah, I'm never talking to you again. You suck.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's brutal. Yeah, that was kind of the thing too, is like you don't always know what you're going to get. Yeah. And so when Peyton and I were talking about it, he was like, I think we should get a kitten because then we can raise it. And then if it has bad habits, it's our fault.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then also it's, you know, it's more likely that it's like, you know, your cat had kittens and you're just trying to like get rid of them versus like there's something wrong with this cat or has a behavioral thing or whatever.
I should have thought about that because the cat was like 4 or something. So
yeah, so that was Peyton's thing, is he was like, we should try to get one that's like below, like a year older, younger than that. So we got Rigby and he was 6 weeks. And then we got Nellie, she was 7 weeks. So we got both of them when they were little. But then it's hard because then you got to go through the kitten phase and get them all vaccinated and fixed and all the things. But we got really lucky and we took both of them to the vet and they were both really healthy and spunky and all the things. So they're both great, but it's hit or miss and you kind of have to be careful about it.
Yeah.
But I was talking to this other lady before we got Nellie, and because that person had, I don't even know, it was like 5 kittens and it was like pretty close to where we live. So I was like, this will be super good, you know, whatever. And then she ended up being really flaky and kind of weird over email and like didn't want to send me pictures of them and like didn't put pictures on the ad. And then when she finally did send me a photo, it was like they looked really sick. Oh. And I was like, this seems weird. And she's being kind of shady. So I didn't do it.
Yeah, I think the reason that the cat that we got was sick was because I think they were like inbreeding them to keep them like a certain breed.
Oh,
and
my
God. I didn't even like, that didn't even cross my mind that people did that. But then when I was researching like those kind of problems, it was like, it's probably because of inbreeding, because it was like a ragdoll cat.
Oh.
And so I think I just wanted a cat. Like I was just looking for
you're like, I'm not looking at what the breed is or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's just so sad. It's like those poor animals.
Yeah, I know. Well, and I feel like with cats too, it's kind of different. Like a lot of people with dogs, there's like breeders or whatever. But with cats, a lot of people, it's very, I don't know.
They just want a cat.
Yeah, they just want a cat, but a lot of people like don't take care of them or whatever.
Or they just leave and like abandon, like they think cats are like wild creatures. It's like, okay, they can be, I'm sure, but that's just so cruel.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You kind of have to be like, okay, so what's the situation? But I don't know. I'm I'm bad because I see them on Craigslist and I just want to adopt them all and like give them cuddles and
Once you
everything.
see them, you're like, fuck, I'm attached to this thing.
Yeah, I like just want to bring them all home. Like I live in a fucking petting zoo or something. And Peyton is like, I can't do more than 2 cats. He's like, that's my max on pets. Like we can't have more until we get a house and we have like a lot more space.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm like, I don't know. Like Sam from Samantha Donovan, she has 4 cats and 2 dogs. I don't know how she does that.
I love it. I
She's
really
awesome.
want to get like a kitten and a puppy so that they can grow up together and be besties.
You think that, but my aunt did that a few months ago. And oh my God, it's so funny because she got this cat and her cat is way cool. She's super cute. Her name's Natasha. She's a homie, but she's smart. And then the dog they got a golden retriever puppy, like expensive one from a breeder. And it's the dumbest dog I've ever seen in my life. And the cat knows that the dog is a dumbass. And so she will bully the shit out of this dog. Like will hide and like will come out and like smack the dog. And the dog like won't go down the stairs because the cat's sitting there like, what, bitch? It's funny, but it's like sad. My aunt was like, we should not have gotten a puppy and a kitten together because they don't get along and they just like terrorize each other. So I think like don't get a stupid dog because your cat will bully your stupid dog. That's what I learned from that.
Cats are pretty smart, just in general.
They are smart. It's funny though. So I don't know. The cat's great, but it's funny though because her dog's a retriever and it cannot fetch a ball to save its life. Like Rigby can fetch better than the dog, my aunt's dog. It's weird.
That is a little weird, but at least he's cute.
Yeah. So I don't know. You can do the puppy and the kitten, but
it's lately I've been wanting to get like sibling kittens because like they already know each other. You know what I mean? So then they can have each other. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. Like I know Samantha did that. Like her cats, she got them in pairs. And I think that's really smart because like Rigby, we got him and then we got Nellie. Well, they don't fight, but they do pester each other a lot. And I kind of wanted Rigby to have a friend, but I think Nellie is the queen and Rigby is a whiny baby. And so they just like smack each other. But I think if you get siblings, then they become like a bonded pair and they actually like get along well and stuff.
Yeah, they already know how to cuddle each other.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so I feel like if I was going to do it again, I think that would be really smart. But I don't know. There wasn't another one in Rigby's litter that I felt like I really connected with, though. And Nellie was the last one in hers. So, yeah, it wasn't really an option for us. But
you got to put some pictures up of Nellie.
I kind of want to go get her. We've been keeping them separate sometimes so that they don't like start getting all pissed off. But let me grab Nellie. She's so cute. She might be asleep. You got to see her. Let me grab her.
I got to see her.
Nellie. Where's Rigby? Where's Eddie? Oh, where is Nellie, no.
Oh my gosh. Hi.
Here now. Baby. This is the baby.
Oh my goodness.
Baby.
Hi.
Nellie belly. Oh my goodness.
Oh, she's purring.
She sees Rigby, I think. This is the baby.
She's shaking. Oh, she's so cute. She looks like him, but like long hair. That's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Nellie, you are so sweet. I love your ears. You almost look like a mancoon, a little baby mancoon. Hi.
She's Poofy. Hi. Hi, Poofy. She woke up from a nap. She's looking crazy. Her hair's looking crazy.
I love it. She's a wild little beast.
Yeah. She wants to go play. They're giving each other the stare. This is the baby.
Hi, little baby.
He's so cute.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous of you.
Are you guys gonna fight? Rigby's looking at her like, I see you're in my space.
Yeah, what the F? This is my live show. Why are you taking over?
Yeah. Second to sibling cats. Love that.
Barn cats.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who have ones from the same litter and it goes really well, but I've also heard people say they got sibling cats and then they hate each other. So I don't know. I think I've been trying to figure it out, like what works the best. And we weren't sure with Rigby, like, would it be good to get a girl cat to go with him, or like two boy cats or two girl cats or siblings, or like what's the perfect, way to do it?
Hmm.
I don't know. I've been asking a lot of people who have cats and who've like raised lots of different cats, and I haven't really come to a conclusion yet. So,
Yeah.
oh, she's gonna climb. I'm just gonna let it happen. She's like a parrot.
She is so cute. It kills me.
She's got good balance though. But Rigby, I mean, when he was this small, he couldn't do anything. He was just a baby. But she can do a lot. Like she's way more like advanced than he was at that age. Like she can do everything. She can jump around, she can climb stuff. She's totally like independent girly pop energy. So
Love her. I worship
love
her.
her. Yeah, we got her, and then I was like, oh, Rigby is just really whiny. This is like not just every cat. That's just my cat is like really clingy.
I had one. I feel like boy cats are very clingy.
Yes.
And I kind of love it.
I do too. Like he snuggles with me a lot. Like he's been snuggling in bed with me all day. And I love that. But sometimes it's too much and he like wants to be held and he just cries at 6 a.m. And it's not because he wants food. Like if I go out and feed him, he's like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But he wants me to hold him at 6
Yeah.
a.m.
I had a cat that I rescued from my old job, like in the parking lot. And he just walked in and he just let me put him in my car.
Wow.
And I kept him. His name was Little Man because I couldn't figure out what to name him.
Aww.
And he would literally wake me up by like throwing himself on my neck. And like he would like make himself my scarf. And I'd be like, I literally cannot breathe right now. I know you love me, but please give me some space. He would like try to sit on my face, like curl up. And
oh my God.
the cutest thing. He was just like, I would pick him up and I could just like wave him around. He was so chill. But he would whine, and then when I like got home from work, he would like meow and greet me at the door like a dog. He was like,
Rigby does that.
Cutest thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rigby greets me every morning and every day when I get home from work or get home from anywhere. He's like the Walmart greeter. He's like super excited. Oh yeah, he's totally a mama's boy. It's ridiculous. But Nellie's super cuddly too, but she's more like chill. Like she can be by herself and she's fine. She just hangs out in her little bed and she crosses her paws and she's just like, hi, I'm the queen. This is my little spot. It's really tender, but yeah, you gotta get the right one.
I hope they get like to be besties soon. I'm sure it'll happen.
They're chasing each other around right now.
I love it.
But yeah. But Nellie, she's so fast. Like, I mean, runs like the speed of sound. So Rigby can't catch her even if he wanted to.
Really?
That's my God. I've never seen a cat move as fast as her. It's unreal. She's
good
so
for her.
But it's hard because we try to keep them kind of separated sometimes, just so they don't have to see each other all the time and get mad because they're still adjusting.
Yeah.
But she will sneak out. And she will run at the door full speed and she gets out all the time because she's just really fast. It's like, damn it. Yeah.
That is too cute. Oh, I wish I could like just come over to your house and hang out with them.
Bro, they're awesome. They're super cool. But it's interesting too because you have people over and like the cats are a good judge of character.
Oh yeah.
So it's funny sometimes if you have somebody over who you're kind of iffy about, like some relative, like, your cat is like, can I bite her?
You're like, yes.
It's like, I don't know if they're feeding off of my energy or the person's energy, but it's like they know.
They know something's going on.
Yeah. They know. They're like, oh, you don't like them? Well, can I bite them so they can leave or what? Like, what's the tea?
Yeah.
Funny. But I think you should get a pet. You need to talk Granted to get a pet.
The people who like own this place or like the realtor that is in charge of it, they don't know half the shit that's going on. It was so weird. Like when we went to go tour this place, they weren't here. She said she was sick, so she just left the key like in the lockbox.
Oh.
And so we just went in and we looked at it. And then when we moved in, she was supposed to hand us the key, and she said she had another appointment, so she just left the key like under the mat. And so we never met anyone like getting this place. And for a while, she kept saying she was going to come by to pick up mail from the owner or like do certain things, and she just kept not showing up. And I was like, did a ghost sell us this place? There's something going on here. We eventually met her, and she's a real life person, so that's kind of sad. But but like there were door handles on the cabinets that were like broken that they never fixed, and like the AC was aggressively disgusting because there is a unit, but it was like so nasty that it wasn't working. And now it like we had someone come and clean it a little bit, but it's still so gross that I can't use it because it smells so bad. So yeah, there's a couple things in here that are kind of gross, but I wonder if they would actually care if we had a pet or not, because there were things like in the lease that weren't applicable to this place. Like they said something about the dishwasher. We don't have a dishwasher. So maybe they just like copy and pasted from like a random lease. So
yeah.
See, and I'm wondering what the move is here. Like, do I ask for permission or ask for forgiveness? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm more of an ask for forgiveness, but that's me.
I ask for permission, and it's always bitten me in the ass. And then like people will do the same thing and ask for forgiveness, and like they'll
do whatever they want to do. Yeah.
Well, I think I might have to take a page from that book.
I don't know. I've been looking around here too at places, and it seems like every place here doesn't allow pets.
It's just
so
like,
that's part of the problem.
Do you want us to be unhappy? Like, what do you want? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's dumb. I understand like some people's pets tear stuff up, but like our cats, they don't tear anything up. From day one, they've both been so good about. They already know how to do the litter box.
Cats are like that. They just know. Like
they just know.
It's and like, so a thing of sand. Let me piss on it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you get a vacuum and vacuum up whatever their litter when they kick it halfway across the room for no reason. But like, it's really not that big a deal. So I don't know. And like the places in Minnesota, I found a whole bunch of apartments that allow pets too.
Okay.
And they're cheaper.
This is like fate.
Yeah. I'm like, why would I stay here and pay more? And I'm not supposed to have my cats. But if I go there, it's cheaper and I can have my cats and it's not a problem.
Are you not supposed to? Like in your place?
It doesn't say that actually. Because we read it. We read it. And Peyton and I were like, it doesn't say anything in here about pets. So it doesn't say yes or no. It doesn't say anything.
See, I kind of wish it said no so that I could be brave like you and use that as a sign to just go ahead and do it.
It doesn't say no. And all of our neighbors have pets. Like our people across the hall have a beagle. So I'm like, you have a whole dog.
So cute.
Yeah, a bunch of people have dogs and stuff. So we were like, well, it doesn't say no and other people have them. So like,
yeah. I'm thinking like, when are they ever going to come here? Because that lady, we've seen her once outside months after we moved in. So who's going to know?
Honestly, that's part of the thing with renting too, is you're like, okay, I want to be able to do my stuff and make my own decisions. And half the time the landlords don't like give a shit about anything anyways.
Exactly.
Especially
because like, maybe it's just because I've rented like from shittier places. This is the nicest place I've ever rented from, but
yeah,
like the shittier places, no one gives a shit because it's already shit.
Right? Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, the place was already disgusting when I moved in, and I already deep cleaned it. So, like,
what do you want from me?
It's not like we're not going to clean up after them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It sucks that there's just, like, shitty people that ruin it for everyone else, I guess.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, some people's critters could totally, like, tear up a place, but I don't know. I feel like if you're on top of your stuff and you're, like...
And if people ruin things, you could just charge them for it.
Well, they do anyways. And the thing too that confuses me is there's so many places that have like a pet fee and a pet rent and a pet deposit and like all these extra charges to have them too.
Yeah.
So that's part of it is like, okay, can we find a place that allows them but also doesn't charge us like 3 times for them? Because they're not going to do anything anyway. So what? I don't know. They're going to get litter on the floor and I'm going to vacuum it. And that's kind of it.
Not a plot twist. Nope.
No. Rigby's gonna flick chicken on the floor because he gets chicken in his whiskers, and I'm gonna vacuum it up because my cat's a disaster, and that's gonna be it.
Chicken in his whiskers. That sounds so cute.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe get a girl cat if you get a cat.
I am just gonna get whatever I can. I don't know. I feel like it is harder to get animals here because there's not like a lot of influx.
Right,
It's
yeah.
hard to get them, especially dogs, and dogs are expensive here. Grant wanted like a German Shepherd at one point. We found one, and it was like $8,000 fucking dollars, and we thought they were joking. I think I laughed, and we're like, yeah, that's not happening. So yeah,
That's
I don't know,
nuts.
but I feel like cats are easier because people just discard them so much easier, and it's sad. I just saw a flying Rigby.
That was Rigby. He's playing with Nellie, I think. Question mark.
Oh,
Well, they're just staring at each other.
I love it. Well, I should probably get something in my stomach before you start hearing it.
You need to go eat, and I need to go figure out what Rigby's doing because he's being a crackhead.
He looks like a lion on his little...
Oh, they're chasing each other. Told you.
Oh, she's chasing him. I love it.
Yeah. She's probably going to kick his ass because he's been kind of an asshole today, so whatever.
Okay. Well,
More
good
power.
luck with that.
Cool, thank you. You need to get a pet, even if it's a rat.
I need a rat.
Get a rat and show me it.
Rats are cute. Like the ones at the pet store, they're kind of cute. They're like,
dude, yeah. I think that's hilarious. If you can talk your man into getting a rat, you can definitely talk him into getting something else.
I guess so. That's true.
I feel cool. Well, thank you for hanging out and talking about smut and cats and rats and all the things.
Yes, and when you read this, message me, and I will message you.
I will, because
I'm
I
ready
need to
for
start that audiobook. It's going to be so good. I'm so ready.
Me too.
Got to get caught up, because then the other one's coming out in 2025, I think. The fourth one in that series. It looks so good.
I don't even know what it would be about. I can't.
I think it's about Cam and that other guy.
Yeah. I forgot about Cam.
Yeah, but that one's going to be interesting because she and the guy in
Wes or whatever.
Yes, they have the kid. Yes,
the baby.
Right. Yeah.
Gus, not Wes.
Gus. Yeah. Maybe. Gus and Cam have the daughter. So, hi, Nellie. What are you doing? Nellie's like, I'd like to climb up your leg, but you're sitting weird. Oh, well, bye. Like, I live in a zoo. It's good. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for hanging out and participating in book club and reading all the things.
Thanks for having me. I read some interesting things.
Yes, we read some interesting smut, and it was a time. It was a time, but good stuff. We're reading American Rapture next month.
OMG.
And I'm super excited about that.
I've been like putting it off because I know I'm going to love it, but I'm kind of scared I won't. There's like a tiny part of me that's like, I've only read one book from this person.
Yes.
It was 5 stars, amazing. What are the chances that's going to happen again? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. But I'm excited about that. It's set in Wisconsin, and I went to Wisconsin while we were in Minnesota. We went there by accident. So I'm ready. It's been the year of the Midwest. I'm ready to read some Midwest horror. It's going to be popping. Super stoked. Cool. Well, thanks so much for hanging out.
Thank you.
I will talk to you later. Bye, everybody.